Welcome, everyone. Thank you for being here, for showing up for yourself. During this time, set up your space, clear any things that are around you that might be a distraction or take away from your intention of being with yourself. Grab some blankets, pillows, towels, bolsters if you have them. Anything to kind of prop yourself up or be kind of like a cushion for our poses today. You can begin by rolling up your blanket into, say, 3 feet of a roll, kind of thin. Set that aside. And then another blanket that you roll really long, thin. And then blankets or pillows, towels that are kind of thick but short. Happy Solstice. And we're just gonna wait a few more moments to let other people join. Give some time for those who are still on their way. And then as we're just setting our space up, consciously begin to change your energy. Like as if everything you're doing becomes a prayer or a very intentional movement. So start to bring your energy down. If you're high energy, start to bring it in. If you were talking and moving around kind of fast, start to slow it down. And even if there are other people in the room or there are things going on, just start to make that shift. And go ahead and grab a pillow or a folded blanket and sit on the very edge of it so that your hips are folding forward. You could just sit in an easy pose. Now, if you're in bed or you're on a couch and you don't have the ability to be on the ground, just intentionally tilt your pelvic floor forward and rest. Today is an auspicious day, the winter solstice. And what that means is this is the furthest away from the sun that will be. For the shortest the day will be. Where we enter into winter, into a stillness, a hush. In Ayurveda and traditional Chinese medicine, winter is associated with the element of water. And the season of fall in traditional Chinese medicine is metal. And the emotions associated with fall are grief and in winter it is fear of the unknown or fear itself. And in the cycle of life, you can see it in the fall in the trees, how the leaves drop or begin to change color. It's mirrored in the stage of life like old age. And then of course, winter as death. So today, in the meeting place between letting go and the stillness after. And I'm going to just move through a few practices that allow for the body, the mind, the spirit to go through this threshold. And we'll check for the other people joining. All right, we'll begin. Breathe in through your nose and out through your nose. Focusing on nothing else but the breath moving in through the nose and out through the nose. If you find yourself checking out in any way, just invite your mind back to paying attention to the breathing as it goes in your nose, through your throat, into your lungs, and then exhaling out, moving out through the lungs, throat, and back out through the nose. After your awareness becomes used to the orbit of in and out, just become aware of that meeting place between the in breath and then the out breath. If you've practiced breath work for a period of time, you may hold your breath in between. As you breathe in, you hold, and then you exhale. And then on the end of the exhale, hold. You might play around with that or just simply in and out. In and out. But notice that momentary pause where it changes from in to out. Get comfortable with that space between the in and the out. Taking things in and then letting things go. Receiving and then giving it away. Opening and then releasing. As we become aware of this, invite the compassionate, holiest spirit or presence or awareness to join. And holding you between the in and the out. Allowing emotions, allowing space. Be with whatever comes up. As you just get very present to the metaphor of taking things in and then letting them go. In the space between. Cross your hands like thumbs touch and fingers out, and rest the thumbs on your sternum. Find the crease between your arms and your chest, and spread your fingers and then push in with your thumbs and then all four fingers around that crease. Close your eyes and go inward. These parts, these acupressure points are on the lung meridian. And the lungs are associated with the fall time, also associated with the element of metal and the emotion of grief. And just begin to palpate into that area, and then take all fingers together, and then with almost like if you had a paw, you stick right in that crease, right, I'll show you, right above the crease. So just beneath the collarbone, just above the armpit, thumbs still together, push into the sternum, and then this just like you're soothing a small child. Bring compassionate presence, the holiest awareness, clearing out and allowing the grief to release. When there are no words, the body speaks. This practice is about extracting the nutrients from loss, gaining the wisdom after the storm, keeping the beauty of the memories alive, and releasing the emotions stuck in the body. Release the hands, open. And like the symbol of the butterfly, you'll find this throughout our practice. Open up, release. Take the hands on either side of the sternum, just all 4 fingers, just tap on either side of the sternum, and then up around the collarbone. Just very lightly, like you're tapping on a table, up and down the collarbone. This is opening the heart to allow the gems, the beauty, the wisdom to circulate and orbit the body, the mind, and the soul. So like a tree, when a tree drops its leaves, those leaves provide nutrients for the growth of the tree overall. And some of the greatest losses and the greatest sacrifices provide the most beautiful tapestry for the growth and for the expansion of wisdom of the whole body. Bring the hands together, and this is the last acupressure point to release grief. Take the middle finger to the center of the forehead. Close your eyes and bring into your mind's eye like you're playing a movie screen of the beauty that you are extracting from your loss. What you take with you, and what wisdom you have already gained and you will gain, that goes beyond words or human understanding. These hands. Move aside the blanket or bolster that you had behind you. And we move into 2 yin postures that Activate the lung meridian, which was associated with the fall and grief. Bring your hands under your shoulders and your knees under your hips. If you actually go ahead and do this, grab a pillow or a bolster and put it down in front of you. And hands under your shoulders, walk them over the bolster and begin to melt the heart down onto the bolster. So if you don't need the bolster, you can go straight down onto the ground, but the bolster is nice. And breathe in and rest the heart, melt the heart down to the earth. Now we consciously are going to pour out the contents of our heart into a greater container. So remember how I asked you to invite the loving, compassionate presence, or the holiest of holy spirits, the consciousness, God consciousness. And so here we are pouring our heart into the ocean, or to the infinite ocean of universal or God love. Whatever that is for you. Letting go of any place that you're still gripping in your heart, where you don't want to let go. And trusting that the contents of your heart are safe in this universal ocean of love. Breathing in and extracting the beauty and the gems that you'll take away. Walking your hands back into a tabletop position. Move the bolster and come to sit with your feet out in front of you. Bend your feet slightly. Draw the chest forward. Hold the feet on either side of your foot. Tuck the chin in towards the chest and rest the forehead on your knees. Cocoon pose. Allowing the back of the neck to really open and relax. Breathing in and out. Pay attention to either side of your spine. So if I were to pinch your spine, massage it down, that's what I mean when I say either side of your spine. So just become aware of that area. Not the spine itself, but surrounding the spine. Just become conscious of that space as you breathe in and breathe out. Letting go again of any busyness or rushing around that your mind wants to do. And just come back to that breath in and out in your cocoon. Now, push your feet out, letting go. And then allow the head to just melt forward, curling the back of the head, letting gravity to pull. This is caterpillar. From the cocoon, reborn as a caterpillar. And these postures are opening up the water meridians and the metal meridians. And remember, this meeting place of the metal season, fall, and the water season, winter. And so soon we are going to do what we call an acupuncture or 5-element acupuncture called a Harari treatment, which is where we activate the water acupuncture point on the water meridian, which is the pathway in the body where all these different points are. On the water day of the year during the water season. So it's a potent activation for going into the season. And so these poses are activating and allowing the body to release the emotions or the energy that is stuck. So we often don't really think that grief can live in the body, or that losing something or someone can affect your legs or your back or your neck or your hormones. But we are one body. Your mind is not separate from your body. Your soul, your spirit is not separate from your body. They are separate parts of a greater whole, but they are not separate. Breathing in and breathing out. Take the head back, open chest, open the throat. Take your hands out. exhale, bring it back in. Now, it's gonna do a little fun setup. If you have blocks, great. If you don't, you can use blankets to stack up and lean your bolster on. So essentially what we're doing, take your feet close together. You can open them up a little more and put the blanket or the blocks in between your legs. Take your bolster. If you don't have a bolster, watch this. Get a couch cushion or just a regular pillow. Make sure that you're up high enough. So if you need to get stacks of laundry, if you need to get, a bunch of clothes and put it under, stack it up. Doesn't need to be perfect. And lean the cushion this way. And then hug in and lean on the cushion. Now, if you find discomfort happening, readjust, bring it in closer if you need to, if you want your feet to touch. Ooh, this is nice. You just don't want to kind of curl over. So I can see myself that I'm curling over. You want to get a little more stability so it stays up, right? And then once you're there, hug in, rest. And I'll tell you when to turn your head so you get both sides. And here we're activating the kidney and the bladder meridian. So the kidneys are part of the water system. It's also a place where in Chinese medicine it's believed that our batteries are stored. So if we're depleted of the water element, it can look like being exhausted, depressed, hopeless, not trusting, fearful. And the only real way to recharge our batteries or the kidney jing is by basically doing nothing. So doing things like Yin and Restorative yoga, like you're doing now. Meditation. Sitting in silence. Naps. And what we're about to do, which is consciously breathe and orbit our breath through the kidneys. As you breathe in, imagine like a straw grows from your nose all the way to the kidneys. And then as you exhale, that same straw draws from the kidneys and extracts and clears and cleanses, detoxes, and pulls out from that same straw as you breathe out. Breathing in, imagining fresh water, electric, primordial, ancestral, healing water that goes through as you breathe in, charges the kidneys, and then exhale as it draws out stagnant, old, hopeless energy. Focusing and the healing, electric, magnetic, powerful breath, cleaning, clearing, and then charging and restoring. Switch your head position. We're halfway through. Every breath, charging, cleaning and clearing the cosmic orbit. And if you could, send a message to your kidneys, to your batteries. Just tell them thank you. Appreciation, gratitude to your kidneys. Slowly unwind, coming up. Move stuff out of the way. And we are going to prepare for the Harari treatment. So what I will ask you to do now, if you have a glass of water, grab that. And if you have an essential oil, grab that. If you don't have an essential oil, you can use water. So we're going to use water. But if you like to use an essential oil, you may do that as well. Just take a few breaths in and out, centering yourself. And so the first acupuncture point is on the outside of your pinky toe. So just right where the foot and the pinky meet, right on the outside, and you can kind of feel, where is it kind of sensitive? Where can you feel, this might be the little button that I'm thinking of, right there. And if you're sensitive, sometimes you'll feel it like kind of shoot up. That's the spot. So this acupuncture point is called Penetrating Valley, and it is a water point on the water meridian, and we are activating it on the water day of the water season. And we're going to hold this pressure point for 3 minutes. But what we're going to do is we're going to, whatever finger you're going to use, dip it in water, like a subtle medicine, subtly activating the water within, which is the will to carry on, to take the light into the darkness, to go through complete stillness of winter And so we breathe in. Push in to that place with your finger that has the water on it. And as much as possible, allow your mind to be clear. If your mind wanders, come back to a space of nothingness. Believe in the power of just subtle activation. Believe that just by your intention, you're setting yourself up for success during this season. You are nourishing your system in order to go through the thick of winter. The will to keep going. The reservoir filling, your cup beginning to overflow. Not because you have control or not because you have the answers, but because the mystery, the cosmic response to when you call. That every morning the sun still rises. And that after every winter, spring comes. Consciously activating the batteries of your willpower, the internal light that doesn't need anyone else, anything outside of this resource within. Okay, and 3 minutes is up. Release. The second point, and there are only 2 points, is on the inside of your knee. So right at the crease, just right above there. And it doesn't have to be perfect, but you can kind of feel where, again, it's sensitive, where there's like almost like a little divot in your skin. So penetrating valley was about clearing. This is about restoring and recharging. So Yin Valley, and it restores the nutrients or the recharge to your peace. So pushing in, and we begin. Consciously inviting peace back to every cell of your body. Every organ in the body activates with peace. Every bone in the body activating with peace. Your skin your blood, your limbs, your face, all lighting up with peace. And feel the glow that begins to surround your body, your mind, your spirit, your soul, just from drawing peace back in to your system. Every dark and dimly lit place illuminated with the glow of deep, deep peace. And release. Take a moment and feel the difference in your environment, in your awareness after that Harari treatment. And we have one last pose before we go into our deep, deep rest. Take your water and get feel it cycle and move through the orbit of your kidneys consciously, somatically locking down that charge. Okay. So, remember those rolled up blankets that I was supposed to keep? Well, we're gonna roll them up again. So, about a 3 foot, 4 foot roll. Lay it down. And then behind you, a bolster or if you don't have a bolster, a pillow. And the way this is going to go is right at your hip crease. You're going to rest your hips right on, ooh, nice, on that roll. And then adjust the bolster so that your feet are leaning on it. Now take your feet, soles of the feet together, and you can get as wide as you need to. And then again, adjusting this blanket roll to be right at the hip crease, and then lowering down. And as you're here, I'm just gonna play this sound.
What worries us is that when we're dead, there could be nothing at all forever. If you went into sleep, into unconsciousness for always and always and always, it wouldn't be at all like going into the dark. It wouldn't be at all like being buried alive. It would be as if, as a matter of fact, you had never existed at all. If, when I'm dead, I am as if I never had been, then that's the way I was before I was born. I reason that if I go back, when I'm dead, to the state where I was before I was born, couldn't I happen again? You know, what has happened once can very well happen again. If it happened once, it's extraordinary. And it's not really very much more extraordinary if it happened all over again. It's a thoroughly good arrangement in this world that we don't remember what it was before. Why? Because variety is the spice of life. And if we remembered, having done this again and again and again and again, we should get bored. And just as a memory is a beautiful thing to have, to remember, in order that a memory be valuable, you've also got to have a forgettery. Because just as, if I try to go back behind my eyes and find what is there, I come to a blank, if I try to remember back and back and back and back, I've got my earliest memories, and then behind them, nothing. Total blank. That's why we sleep every night, to refresh ourselves. We go into the unconscious, so that coming back to the conscious is again a great experience. Well, when that's gone on long enough, when day after day we remember the days that have gone before, even though there's the interval of sleep, there comes a point when really, if we consider what is to our true liking, we will want to forget everything that went before, so that we can have the extraordinary experience of seeing the world once again through the eyes of a baby, so that it's completely new, and we have all the startling wonder that a child has, which we can't have if we remember everything forever. So do you see what happens? The universe is a system which not only forgets itself, and then again remembers anew, so that there's always this constant change and constant variety in the span of time, but it also does it in the span of space by looking at itself through every different living organism. Death, in that sense, is a tremendous release from monotony. It puts an interval of total forgetting in a rhythmic process of on and off, so that you can begin all over again and never be bored. But the point is that if you fantasize the idea of being nothing for always and always and always, what you're really saying is, after I'm dead, the universe stops. And what I'm saying is, no, it goes on just as it did when you were born. You see, you may say that you think it incredible that you have more than one life. But I say, first of all, isn't it incredible that you have this one? Isn't it incredible that out of the nothing that is your past, here you are? Well, it's astonishing. So, if that's astonishing, it can always happen again and again and again. The ambition that many of us have, especially in an age of technological competence, to have everything under our control, is a false ambition, because you've only got to think for one moment, what would it be like if you did really know and control everything? Supposing we had a super colossal technology which could go to our wildest dreams of technological competence, so that everything that is going to happen would be foreknown, predicted, and everything would be under our control. You see, you can't experience the feeling you call self unless it's in contrast with the feeling of other. It's like known and unknown, light and dark, positive and negative. So then, isn't that the arrangement you want? And so in the same way, couldn't you say the arrangement you want is not to remember? Memory is always, remember, a form of control. I've got it in mind, I remember it, I know your number. You're under control. Now, if you go on remembering and remembering and remembering, it's like writing on a piece of paper and going on writing and writing and writing until there's no white space left on the paper. Your memory is filled up. You need to wipe it all clean so that you have a white paper all over again and can begin to write on it once more. So that's what death does for us. It wipes the slate clean, and also, looking at it from the point of view of population and the human organism on the planet, it keeps cleaning us out. And the idea of a technology which would enable each one of us to be immortal would be something that would progressively crowd the planet with people with hopelessly crowded memories. To live, we need space. And space is a kind of nothingness, and death is a kind of nothingness. It's all the same principle. And by putting blocks, as it were, or spaces of nothingness, spaces of space, in between spaces of something, we get life properly spaced out. That's what space gives us, and that's what death gives us. You will see that this nothingness, if you followed my argument, is something, as it were, you bounce off from again, just as you bounced in the first place when you were born. You bounced out of nothingness. Nothingness is a kind of bounce. Therefore, you get this sense, just like you've got the sense of nothing behind your eyes. Get the sense of nothingness, very powerful, frisky nothingness, underlying your whole being. Then, with that sense, you can come on like a person for whom the rest of life is gravy because you're already dead. You know you're going to die. We say there's one thing certain, which is death and taxes. And the death of each one of us now is as certain as it would be if we were going to die 5 minutes from now. So where's your anxiety? Where's your hang-up? Regard yourself as dead already, so that you have nothing to lose. Turkish proverb says, he who sleeps on the floor will not fall out of bed. So in the same way, the person who regards himself as already dead, therefore you are virtually nothing. 100 years from now you'll be a handful of dust. That'll be for real. All right, act on that reality. And out of that, nothing. You will suddenly surprise yourself that the more you know you're nothing, the more you'll amount to something.
Slowly come up and remove the blanket and the bolster. Coming into the last pose, Shavasana, corpse pose, dead man's pose. And as you prepare your space, consciously lying down into deep rest, stillness. The yogis give us this pose at the end of each practice. And it's a metaphor for the death that Alan Watts just described. The ego death, but beyond that, the oneness with death. Melting into the luminous darkness, the beautiful mystery of the unknown. The void, the place in between the inhale and the exhale. The negative space. The spirit hovering above the water. The body rests, letting go of any place that you still hold on. Allow the compassionate presence to wrap you up. And allow the holiest of holies to bring back life. Bring this gentle movement back to the body. Draw the knees into the chest. And roll over onto your side to fetal position. And without coming all the way up, roll yourself over into child's pose. From corpse pose to child's pose. Bringing life back into the body, into the mind, into the soul, the spirit. Born again, new. Gently come up. Hand on the low belly, and then the other hand, the heart. Actively reset your nervous system. Taking your hands into fists at the kidneys. Pound the drum at the bottom of your spine. Tonifying the kidneys, your will, brightening the light as we enter into this season of winter in the darkness. Drawing the energy around, back to the heart. Take the chin to the chest, bowing and honoring the honorable known and unknown ancestors, teachers, guides, angels, whatever you believe it to be. We bow in honor of all of the beings that allowed us to be here in this body, in this time, in this place, with this purpose. Taking the hands down to the earth, consciously sending out this healing peace to the core of this planet and to every place, every person, every family, every community that needs it now. Bring the hands back to the heart, bowing to the self, to the I am presence, to the God self within. Honoring who you really are and for showing up for such a time as this. You can join me in sealing our practice with one Om, this sound that started the universe. And breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in for Om. Om. Peace for the mind, for the body, for the soul. Happy winter solstice. Thank you for joining me. Much love.